passed out. Yeah, I literally don't care about you. Kale. Kale? Towel? Ran to a tomb. Things are getting crazy. I think you have a crush on her. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, we got the juice and drama here. Text is tiny. The plot thickens. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to say his name. Let's get right on into it. I'm actually so excited for this book. Yesterday I went to the bookstore to pick up The Throne of Glass. Made it. I'm here for one book and one book only. I gotta keep telling myself that. It's a lot smaller than I was picturing, but the text is tiny. Oh gosh. Acquired. For some reason, in my brain, I was thinking Sarah J. Maas, this is gonna be the size of Akawar, but fortunately for me, it's more the size of Akatar, thankfully. So we have a cutie little map. I love a good fantasy map. I'm gonna be referencing this all the freaking time. So a map just like so sets the vibe of a fantasy read. I feel like every time I see one, I'm just like, yes. My goal is to get a good chunk into the book and then update you guys. Today we're doing a deep dive, so it will contain a tons of spoilers. This is for the girlies who love Throne of Glass and want to see me read it for the first time like you're reading it over again. So if you have not read Throne of Glass, click away. I am really excited to hop into it. I've heard such good things about Throne of Glass, especially like the whole series. For the extent of my fantasy knowledge, it is just Akatar series and then a few one-off books. My main genre is not fantasy. Today, all of that is going to change. So with this deep dive, I want to go maybe 5 chapters in or something like that. Get to a certain point where I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of a grasp on the settings and the characters, and then I'll pick up reading after we stay in touch. I'm literally so excited. I'm so sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Already immersed. This cute little bookmark that my boyfriend got me for Christmas. It says slow burn and it's pink and red. And then on the other side, it's a little baby fire. She's so cute. With all that being said, I'm gonna hop right into this. I'll see you at chapter 5. The plot thickens. So we've been introduced to our main character, Selena, and she is currently imprisoned for being Adarlan's most notorious assassin. So she's really snarky, but she's also been in like horrible working and living conditions for the past year. So she's kind of off her game a little bit. She's been imprisoned in like this mine where she's been working and mining, and she hasn't been eating very well. Classic fantasy prison. A guard from the prison named Chowl, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I'm going with Chowl, pulls her from the prison, brings her to like the prison tower, and she is surprised with the prince of Adorlan. His name is Dorian, I think, and he basically gives her a proposition. Okay, he's going, girl, I need you to compete against other assassins and thieves and tough guys to see if you can win this competition so you can become the king's assassin. Now, first she's thinking, what's in it for me? So he offers to reduce her sentence from whatever it was to 4 years, and she can live out that 4 years as the king's assassin and not have to go back to the horrible working conditions of the prison that she's currently in, because most people don't normally last a month in there and she's last a year. So she's kind of like been gritting her teeth through it, but she doesn't think she can last much longer. So by chapter 5, we've just left the prison. They just left the gates. They're all on horseback riding to the kingdom, I'm assuming to train for this competition. It's kind of strange that the prince would want her to be in the competition, but again, she is like the most notorious assassin, so he knows she's gonna do well. But then also, he's making her go under an alias, so she's not going to be known as herself, because they're like, we don't want the kingdom to know that you were just some like 18-year-old girl who was murdering everyone. They're embarrassed. I absolutely love Sarah J. Maas's writing style. I really like Selena. She seems really cool. We haven't heard much from her. We've mostly just been hearing the yapping from Prince Dorian. And another tidbit, I'm really liking the silly prisoner banter between Chowell and Selena. I feel like they're gonna be really silly best buds by the end. I can't really tell if they like hate each other or she's gonna kind of like pick on him a little bit and be a little silly, a little funny. I can't tell. I'm excited for this adventure they have in store for us, but again, I'm only 30 pages in, so I don't know where it's going. But I am just like so infatuated with Sarah J Maas's writing, as I've always been. I changed setups. The bedroom is much cozier and comfier, as you'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna hop into chapters 5 through 10 and then do another update. Let's get into it. Okay, so I did fall asleep in the last clip, but I have an update. I did read till chapter 10. So far, we have basically just come to the castle and have been deepening our relationships with our characters that we've already met. We've been introduced to like one annoying girl, which I don't like. And then we've also met the king of Adarlan, which I don't really know how I feel about him. He's also not going to be in the rest of the book, really. He says he's going on like some vacation while this is all going down. I'm not really sure. And Selena has also met her competitors, so they all went to meet the king and they kind of went over like how they're gonna win and what they're gonna win, but it's all still like up in the air. We haven't really found out exactly what's gonna happen at all, but there's a lot of high stakes. So then on top of that, we've been introduced to a couple of like random side characters that I cannot remember the name of, but Chowell and Dorian have been deepening their relationship with Selena. I feel like Dorian seems pretty shallow. It doesn't seem like he cares about her at all. And then Chowell is kind of on the other end of that. He's kind of like her coach in a way. I feel like he might be like an overprotective kind of character. He seems like he's trying to whip her into shape, but also like protect her and take care of her. So I don't really know where that relationship's going. It's still so early on. And then additionally, we've also been introduced to her alias, which is a jewel thief, and she hates that, but they're kind of like, you need to stay under the radar, so you're gonna be a jewel thief. Anyways, I'm gonna read till the end of chapter 15 and come back with you guys for the update. Not much has happened yet. Obviously, we're only like, how many pages in? We're only like 75 pages in, but I'll keep you posted on the next chunk. Okay, chapter 16 is up next, and let me talk about what just happened. Big developments. The eye-eating man is dead. Apparently one of her competitors have been found killed in a hallway, which is crazy because like there's guards everywhere, so how is he murdered? Anyways, that's kind of scary because she's like, is this gonna be a trend or is this just kind of like a one-off thing? So they're kind of investigating that as well. So that just happened, but before that they did their first training exercise where basically they just like did a giant marathon, and then they were like, if you don't meet, you know, the time standard for the marathon, you're gonna be eliminated. That was sort of like the prerequisite to it. After that, we moved into the second challenge, and we're introduced to a character named Kane, and he's kind of like the hot shot. He works for the king as a soldier already, and he's just like this big buff arrogant guy who's like really good at everything, and he's pissing everyone off. They go into their first official challenge, and it's archery, and Selena freaking slays the archery, bullseyes all around, and then Kane also does really well. And I'm kind of surprised that the first challenge was so tame. Like, I feel like my scale, like I could probably pass this round. Like my survival rate in this is like 80% here. Like I'm not being sent home on archery. But mind you, I would not have made it to archery if I had to run a marathon beforehand. 0% for any cardio. I'm not doing it. Anyways, on top of all that, we've been introduced to this princess Nehemaz. She's the princess of Elwi, which I believe Selena is also originally from. But they were recently taken over by the king of Adarlan. So there's kind of like a little bit of bad blood and tension with just the invasion side of things, because Selena was from Elwi and she was not happy about the invasion, obviously. But then there's this princess here who's coming to Adarlan, and we don't really know what she's doing here? And then she sort of goes MIA. I haven't heard from her since. But anyways, when Adarlan invaded, it was very brutal. Lots of gore, lots of murdering. But anyways, we just left off with her absolutely slaying the archery challenge, and we're gonna keep reading. Hey. Okay, so I just finished chapter 20 and we got some juice and we got some drama. Okay, we got the juice and drama here. The tea is there's some relationships that are going down and I am here to pitch who I think should end up with who, okay? We've been introduced to Sam, which is Selena's dead boyfriend, husband, partner. Yeah, he's gone. He died 13 months ago. Very sad, very tragic. She was playing on the little piano thinking about him. And then boom, Dorian shows up and he's like, so what's your love life? And that's where we got all this tea. Dorian is kind of like infatuated with her. I feel like in the worst way possible. I feel like he's very like objectifying and dehumanizing her and just kind of being like, she seems fun. We should hang out. There's no way to say that nicely. But he is sort of like, definitely wants to bang her, for sure, for sure. But after this whole like, oh my god, Sam died, he's kind of taken in a new light of how he's treating her. I think, anyways. But there's a lot of banter between those two because she's like, I literally don't care about you. I will banter with you. And he's like, oh my gosh, no one's ever talked to me like that before. I'm a prince. This is crazy. I'm so in love with her. I don't like Prince Dorian all that much. I really don't. He just seems like a womanizer and just like some cocky, arrogant guy. He seems like a frat boy. Okay, like this is Dorian. Now hear me out. Hear me out. There's two contenders that I'm thinking like, ooh, they need to end up together, okay? Princess Caldana and Selena. They would slay so hard. Princess Caldana, so slay, and they are always chatting it up in their like native languages. And the princess was like, oh my gosh, Selena, you should be like my friend when we go to events. Like, I'm bringing you with me, like, let's hang out. And I'm like, tea, like, I don't know if they're gonna be besties or more, I don't know. And they literally just went to some like party together, but then they got kicked out because they started like sparring. Unless I like totally read that wrong. That was a party, right? Okay, and then on top of that, I keep forgetting that Cowell, oh my gosh, I don't know how to say his name. I keep forgetting how Cowell is like literally like 20 years old and they are the same age and he's probably a very attractive young man and he's so sweet and he's so protective and he's also pissed when Dorian goes to see her by himself and he's like, oh, it's for safety. Sir, I think you just don't want them to be alone together. I think you have a crush on her. On top of that, the only other big development is that another challenger recently like stepped out of line and got shot, but it was very like him on purpose trying to be killed, which was like, ooh, like what's going on behind the scenes that like people are dying or choosing to die? I'm excited to get into the politics aspect. I feel like we haven't really gotten into that, but I feel like throughout the series we'll get more into that. But hopefully, like, I want to see like the stance of the Princess of Elwë Caldona? Girl, what is her name? But the Princess of Elwë and obviously the Prince of Adarlan are in like the same room together. Like I want to see the vibes. I want to know the politics behind everything because she's been kind of tame and I'm like, I don't know, like, is she plotting an invasion? I don't know. I can't tell. On top of that, there's this one girl and I literally could not tell you her name if I tried. But she is trying to get with Prince Dorian so bad. She's trying so hard. And I don't think Prince Dorian's gonna get in there. But I'm also like, why are we even being shown her perspective if she's not really impacting anything? But I feel like she might come in later and be more important from then on. But she's kind of annoying and like a little pick-me, so I'm sick of her. Anyways, I'll see you in the next clip. I'm gonna read from chapter 21 to 26, I think. That'll be the next little chunk. Anything big, anything crazy happening, I will let you know. It's gonna be crazy. Don't be alarmed. I am eating at the dinner table. This like virtually never happens. I'm gonna lock it and read. Hey y'all, another day, another slay. Was gonna update at chapter 26, but kept reading and someone's been murdered and eaten. I don't know how I feel about that. But then also we have some context. Basically, everyone was at like a silly fun party, and Selena discovers there's a secret passage in her bedroom. Okay, so she goes, checks it out. She realizes that the secret passage does in fact give her an escape plan for the little castle if she ever wanted to leave. But also she ends up going to this crypt of this like dead fae woman, but then boom, she's a freaking ghost, and she pops out and she's like, oh my god, hey bestie, this is all happening for a reason. And Selena's like, whoa, like I'm literally just an assassin. And she's like, no, like you're on to bigger and better things, babe, like you got this in the bag, you're gonna save the world. She also hinted that there's some sketchy stuff going on in the castle, which I'm assuming is the murders, and I don't know if it's some sort of beast or a person doing all the killings, and she has to figure it out. But right now, all we know is something sketchy is going down, and it's her sole responsibility to figure it out. That's her destiny. That's why they brought her here. She was the fated person to win the competition to be the king's assassin. She's obviously gonna put some extra oomph into it now that she knows that she is kind of destined to win, I hope. Oh, and then also Sarah J. Maas is going fully into the love triangle. Selena likes both Dorian and Kale. Chowell? I don't even know. I started listening to the audiobook to try to get the names down, and I'm still failing. I have someone I'm very much betting on for the love triangle, and if it's not gonna be him, I'm gonna be pissed, okay? So yeah, today is Thursday. I really want to finish this book on the weekend, but we'll see how much I can get through during the week. I just have a busier work week this week, so let's do this then. Good evening. My plan for this evening is to listen to the audiobook and make some muffins. Buckle in for that. I'm taking you with me. Okay, bad news. The muffins are almost done, and all I've done is dance to music. I'm gonna start reading now after muffins are in the oven, so I'm gonna get on it. All right, y'all. I am on chapter 40. I just finished chapter... Wait, am I? No, I'm on chapter 39. I just finished chapter 38. And it's been quite a large chunk since I've updated you guys. I've just been ripping through it here. First and foremost, the challenge is not the main focus of this book. I thought the challenges would be like insane, grueling, really proving her as an assassin, but they are just super chill. And the bigger focus of this book is actually the murders and that sort of plot of why people are being killed. But for the first like 50% of the book, it was not that big of a deal. Selena just did not care that people were getting murdered. Yeah. And then she runs into the ghost, and then everything changes. She's like, oh, actually my bad. Like, I should probably be saving these people and making sure they don't die. So I do have a hypothesis of who I think the murderer is. Not who, but more like what I think it is. I think the Throne of Glass is in like the same sort of realm as ACOTAR. They did mention the Fae, which the ghost girl was Fae, obviously. Hello? Brief intermission. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Fae. So the ghost lady was Fae. And so my hypothesis is that the murderer is someone who is Fae or just a person, and they can transform into a beast. Think of like Tam Tam and ACOTAR, how he could like turn into like this crazy beast guy. Like that's what I'm thinking it is. And I think like they're obviously in this world where like magic is banned, like you can't even say the word. It's definitely something magical. That's what's going on, because they haven't been able to sort of figure out who's been murdering and like what's been going on. So my hypothesis is that it is a magical beast or a person that can turn into a magical beast. From all the clues they've given, they've been saying like a person who summons a beast, but I think the person can turn into the beast. That's my like hypothesis, and we're gonna see how that goes. For updates, like Selena kissed Dorian on the cheek. Wait, no, she actually kissed him. Yeah, so I'm kind of sad that she's ending up with Dorian or whatever, but there was so much room in my heart for Chowell. Poor friggin' Chowell. I feel like he's such an underrated guy. So I don't know if they're gonna keep expanding on this love triangle throughout the series, or if it's sort of just this book and she's gonna pick one and stick with them. I don't know. And then other than the Beast and the love triangle thing, the only other big update I've gotten is obviously she's trying to figure out the murders, okay? And there's all these like runes and stuff, and it was just revealed that Princess Nahima has been kind of conning everyone, and I don't really know what side she's on. Obviously, she's not freaking supporting Adarlan. Adarlan just murdered 500 of her people, so she's rightfully very pissed. But yeah, it was just revealed to us that she can speak fluently, and then also that she was at like a really high reading level, and she was reading about ruins, and she also warned Selena not to look into the ruins. And so Selena's kind of thinking like, what if she's summoning this beast because she's mad at everyone? But I don't think it's her because they've been bestie. Anyways, I'm about like 75% of the way through the book. We're getting there, guys. It's getting kind of late and I might read a little bit more tonight, but my game plan is to finish the book tomorrow morning. That's the vibe, that's my goal. So I'll see you guys in the morning. I think I'm just gonna give like one big update of the reveal and my reaction to it, because honestly, for the most part, this book was a little underwhelming compared to ACOTAR. There was twists, there was turns, there was suspense, there was craziness. There was the competition at the end of the book that was like insane to read, and it was so engaging and great. But right now, this book is like high society drama and obviously murders, but it's been like the murders haven't been like super important up until now. So obviously Sarah J Maas is like trying to create this world and build character relationships, but I feel like there hasn't been much like assassin content. Like I thought there'd be more challenges, more training, more angst, more like craziness, but it's been kind of tame, and we've just been learning about each character, which is fine. It's just not what I was expecting. So I hope it like ramps up in that aspect for the rest of the series. Obviously there's like 7 more books I think in the series or something like that, so there's gotta be something crazy that happens. And Sarah J Maas is also very well known to add insane endings to her books, so I'm kind of excited to see what that's all about. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning when I read. Good night. Good morning. Today's the day. I have 100 pages left of Throne of Glass, and I'm gonna sit down and read the rest of it right now. Wish me luck. I'll update you as I go. I'm so excited. Things are getting crazy. She suspects it's Nehemia, and she found out what the creature is, and it's summoned through a portal. But she's like, Bessie, where would the portal be? In the tunnels. So now she's in the tunnels, but there's a man down there, not Nehemia. So she's like, what's going on? So I'm pretty sure we're about to be revealed who the heck is doing this all. And he's like chanting. What the heck is going on? Bro, obviously it was Cain. So Cain, why are you doing all this? I don't know, that reveal was kind of weird. I feel like Cain is a pretty obvious answer. Like he's kind of been the antagonist this entire time. Okay, so it was Cain, but Nehemia is in on it, because why is she now in a tub glowing with word marks? I don't know if they're saving her or killing her. Okay. Nehemia saved her life and healed her. Got it, with some sort of magic. I don't know if I even updated, but okay, Cain was summoning the beast, obvi. Set the beast loose on Selena. Selena followed the ghost lady's instructions, ran to a tomb. There was like a shiny sword. She took it, zing, 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 killed the creature, and then she went upstairs, passed out. Princess Nehemia saves her, heals her in this awesome bath, and we keep reading. We did it. Oh my gosh. The ending? Sarah J Maas really knows how to pull it together. So obviously they did the duel. Caltaine poisoned Selena, so then Kane's like magic went crazy, okay? And so Selena was kind of in like this in-between world, seeing all these like dead people. She got really scared and she was hallucinating. It was freaking crazy. And then freaking Princess Nahima was like, and then Ghost Lady came to save the day. Ghost Lady saved her. She took away the poison from her, and Selena was able to defeat Kane. And then at the end of the duel, Kane tried to like murder her, and Chowell killed him instead to protect Selena. That was crazy. Also, we learned that the king and Parrington are very aware of the magic that Kane was possessing. And also, they were using the magic on Caltaine to control her to try and kill Selena. So there's some fishy stuff going on there. And then finally, the book ends with Selena signing the contract and working officially for the king. Oh, and also she ended things with Dorian. They had a cute little fling, but obviously it can't last. She's literally the king's assassin and he is the prince. That would be a little too crazy. But hopefully they're still besties and I'm still rooting for Chowell, okay? Chowell is endgame. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. I think I need to like sit on it for a few hours, think about what I'm gonna rate it, and then I'll get back to you guys and let you know final thoughts for Throne of Glass. Good evening. It's like been 9 hours since the last clip or something crazy, but I'm here to do my final review of Throne of Glass. So there's not much to say because you've watched the entire video. So you know my thoughts and opinions on this already. But anyways, in my fantasy knowledge, this as a standalone book was not as good as even just the first like ACOTAR book because it didn't meet my expectations, which I expected a big challenge and a cool assassin, but what I really got was a high society drama, which was good, and I loved the ending. That was the thrilling craziness that I yearned for the entirety of the book, but we just got it for the last bit. Felt like the middle kind of dragged when she was just doing the competitions and when the murders were like not that big a deal. Anyways, with all that being said, 3.75 stars. I really enjoyed it and I'm definitely gonna continue to read the series and I'm totally looking forward to that. With all that being said, make sure to check out my Substack. I link it in the description. It's free, there's no paywall. I'm starting a book club, so if you want to join that in February, now's the time to do it. It's February 1st, so check that out below if you want to join our book club. And then also, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps me out and I appreciate all the support you guys give. And it's just been so much fun making book videos for you guys. Also, if you liked this deep dive, let me know because this is kind of the first like full spoiler video I'm doing, but if you really enjoyed it, let me know. I know Throne of Glass is super popular, so I'm hoping if you loved Throne of Glass, you enjoyed this video. But with all that being said, thanks so much for making it to the end and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!